Long ago, a massive meteor crashed into Orthane, the effects of which were felt across the entire continent of Kalligo. As time passed, strange new flora and fauna began to emerge in the wake of the impact, and with them came a new and terrible plague known as the Radiant Ruin. At first, the people of Kalligo did not understand the severity of the disease, believing it to be a simple illness that would pass with time. However, as the years went by and more people succumbed to the plague, they began to realize the true horror of the situation. The Radiant Ruin was a slow and insidious disease, taking years to fully manifest in its victims. Those who were infected would gradually begin to feel weaker and more lethargic as their bodies turned to crystal, starting at the extremities and working their way inward until they were fully consumed. There was no cure for the disease, and those who contracted it were left to face an agonizing death. As the years went by, the Radiant Ruin continued to spread across Kalligo, claiming countless lives and leaving entire communities decimated in its wake. Despite the best efforts of healers and alchemists, no cure could be found, and many began to believe that the plague was a curse sent by the gods themselves. The formation of the Alliance of Kalligo was a direct result of the Radiant Ruin plague. As the disease began to spread and ravage the continent, the various kingdoms realized that they needed to work together to find a cure. A council was formed, consisting of representatives from each kingdom, and they began pooling their resources and knowledge. The council established a research group consisting of the most brilliant minds from across Kalligo to investigate the origins and nature of the plague. The Alliance has made significant progress in understanding the plague and believes it is on the verge of discovering a cure that could save countless lives.
Unlike us mere mortals who succumb to death's embrace by the ruin, the flora and fauna here are twisted by the ruin's curse. They become vessels of perpetual decay, spreading the blight far and wide. It's a dark alchemy that turns life into an agent of ruin.
Your words ring true. As we journey to the Starfall crater, let us tread with both caution and curiosity. The crater, a scar upon the earth, might hold secrets we desperately seek. The origin of this ruin, perhaps. If the stars align, we may uncover a way to reverse this curse, to cleanse the land and restore the balance of nature.
The Abayant were a rare group of individuals who possessed a natural immunity to the Radiant Ruin. They were revered by many as heroes and were often called upon to explore the most dangerous and contaminated parts of Kalligo, searching for clues and resources that could aid in finding a cure for the plague. The Abayant were a closely guarded secret, and their identities were kept hidden from the general population to protect them from those who might seek to exploit their immunity. They were trained in survival and combat skills from a young age and were tasked with venturing into the most contaminated areas of Kalligo to collect samples of flora and fauna that might hold the key to a cure.
This gift of immunity is a double-edged sword. To walk through the Radiant Ruins unscathed, one might call it a blessing. Yet, it feels more like a curse at times. My quest to unearth a cure, a beacon of hope in these shadowed times, has led me down paths unspoken of in old tales. The creatures, now twisted and maddened by the ruin's touch, haunt my every step. Their cries are a constant reminder of the urgency of my task. Yet I must persevere, for the sake of all those who still dream of a dawn without ruin.
Many Abayant lost their lives on these perilous expeditions, but their sacrifice was seen as a necessary part of the fight against the Radiant Ruin. Their bravery and selflessness earned them a special place in the hearts of the people of Kalligo, and they were often hailed as the last line of defense against the plague. The people of Kalligo were unaware of the true power of the Radiant Solstice until it arrived, and of the effects it had on the Radiant Ruin. On this particular night, the Radiant Ruin seemed to spread at an alarming rate, infecting even those who had managed to avoid it for years. The Alliance of Kalligo was at a loss, as they had not seen the plague spread so rapidly before.
Just as we glimpse a sliver of hope, the fates conspire to thrust us back into despair. Our strides in cleansing these lands of the ruined flora and fauna now seem but a fleeting victory. But to challenge a force as primal and unyielding as the solstice, this is a trial of a different breed.
Stay your heart, my friend. We stand on the brink of revelation. The trials we've endured, the moons we've watched pass, they are not for naught. I sense it, a nearing breakthrough. We must press on.
It wasn't until one of the researchers stumbled upon a shard of the meteorite that caused the plague that they discovered its true power. The shard seemed to emanate a strange energy that was able to repel the radiant ruin within the individual holding it. The researchers quickly spread the word to the rest of the Alliance, and soon they were searching for more remnants of the meteorite. As the radiant solstice came to an end, the people of Kalligo were left reeling from the effects of the plague. But now, they had a glimmer of hope. The Alliance of Kalligo had discovered a way to stop the spread of the radiant ruin, and they were determined to find more remnants of the meteorite to aid in their search for a cure. After the discovery of the meteorite shards, and their unique properties in halting the radiant ruin, the Alliance decided to break the shards into as many pieces as possible. Each shard piece was given to a selected individual who would then carry it with them at all times. This proved to be an effective measure, as those who possessed a shard remained immune to the plague. However, the division amongst the kingdoms only grew worse. With limited shards available, they began to fight and hoard for possession of more. The Alliance tried to intervene and prevent further conflict, but it was too late.
Calm your horses! No need to get all worked up. We will find a way to cure all of you. We promise!
Master Angram, it's no use. We don't have enough shards for all. Let's retreat to the keep while we still can.
Ugh, fine. We promise to find enough shards for all. Damned be this madness that took hold of Kalligo.
The Alliance of Kalligo began to fracture as each kingdom only cared for its own survival. The situation became dire as the radiant ruin continued to spread, and those without a shard were left to suffer. This marked the start of the ongoing conflicts between the nations. The Alliance disbanded, but some members made their way to the desert nation of Pargia to continue their work under a new name, the Order of Radiance. There, in the Jewel of the Desert, the Crown City, Amanthar, they continue their research to find a cure